Hi my loves, welcome back. So today I'm sharing something incredibly special, something I usually reserve only for my private students, but I wanted to share it with y'all. It's a course preview, an exclusive free teaching pulled directly from one of the core modules of my Destiny Swapping course. And we're going to be talking about spirit attachment theory. Okay. And before I begin, I want to say this clearly. Spirit attachment theory is my original framework, my IP, my intellectual property, and it is fully copyright protected. Okay, this is the system I developed years after years of studying trauma, energy, spiritual predators, and the architecture of the human aura, and also coming to understand my childhood and my energy and how it played out in my adulthood. Okay, so what you're about to hear is not folklore, it's not borrowed language, not recycled spirituality. It's my proprietary model for understanding how trauma becomes energy, how energy becomes patterns, and how patterns can shape your destiny. Okay, so to understand the spirit attachment theory, we begin in childhood, the moment where innocence meets impact. When a child experiences trauma, emotional, physical, or spiritual, something profound happens inside their energetic body. The aura opens, the spirit contracts, and the soul actually pulls a piece of itself away to protect what it can. This is not weakness, it's survival. But that piece of the soul leaves behind a hollow tear, a soft spot in the child's field. And inside that hole, the pain doesn't just disappear. It spins, it compresses, and it condenses into what I call the trauma vortex. And this vortex, you can see right here, becomes the child's first energetic wound, and it's the birthplace of abandonment imprints, hypervigilance, self-worth distortion, energetic permeability, that's a big one, and the child doesn't know what's happening, but their spirit does. And as the child grows, the trauma vortex grows with them. And it becomes the silent architect of their inner world. It shapes their attachment style. It influences their nervous system. It distorts their intuition. And it becomes the lens through which they interpret love, safety, and belonging. And because the soul piece is still missing, the child grows up with an internal echo. A sense that something is wrong, missing, or unsafe. Okay, a lot of the time when we feel anxious, whether it's a child or an adult, that can be either part of our energy is missing or it's being messed with, or it can be something that's not supposed to be in our field trying to attach to us. But consciously in our mind, if we're not spiritually aware, we'll just think we're having a random panic attack. And that's not always the case. I have to give my disclaimer. Yes, we're talking about psychological principles and mental health and trauma combined with energetics. But if you are experiencing a severe psychiatric or mental health crisis, please contact the appropriate professionals and get medical attention. Spirituality is not a replacement for that, okay? And this echo that I mentioned, saying that something is wrong or unsafe, that's what predators, physical or spiritual, so it can be a living human being, or it can be an entity or both, they can sense this echo. And the child becomes more susceptible to manipulative adults narcissistic caregivers, spiritual interference, so earthbound spirits or ghosts, if you want to call them that, will be more inclined to try to attach to this child and disrupt them. Okay, especially if the child has spiritual gifts on top of the trauma. They're like, even though they have this pain, their soul, even though it's fragmented, is still like a huge ball of light. But this trauma makes them vulnerable. They're also more prone to energetic siphoning and emotional enmeshment. Not because they are weak, but it's because their field is open and nothing is being done about it. And by adolescence, the trauma vortex has matured into a frequency. And this frequency broadcasts vulnerability, confusion, unmet needs, unhealed pain, and spiritual openness, which inevitably is going to attract narcissists, spiritual parasites, entities seeking attachment, and predators in the physical world. And these forces hook. That's why I put the hooks here. They hook into the vortex because it gives them access to the person's energy, attention, and life force. Have you ever felt like if you've ever dealt with a predator or someone, or a narcissist or abuser, have you ever felt like they had a sixth sense within minutes of meeting you about what your vulnerabilities were? Before you even open up to them at all? It's because they do. And this is part of that. And this is why so many people repeat the same relationship patterns. The same toxic partner in a different body. The same betrayal in a different season. And the same abandonment in a different storyline. The vortex is pulling in what matches its frequency. Okay? And let me be very clear. This is not the child's fault. Okay? It is what it is. It's very unfortunate and it sucks, and this is why we must protect children. I'm going to read y'all a quote. I posted this on my Instagram a few weeks ago. It's a quote from one of my mentors, one of my spiritual teachers. Her name is Mina Irfan. And I love what she said. Sorry, I just gotta pull it up real quick. She says this in her book, Lady Balls. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Genuine, kind-hearted, loving people must become just as dangerous to predators as they are to us and our children. I completely agree. And this is one of the reasons why. Okay, let's move on to adulthood. I'm going to show you all the illustration. This is where it gets gnarly. Okay. Let me see if I can expand this. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is basically that child I just showed you grown up. Oh, why is all this cut off? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm literally using 3 different pieces of technology right now to make this video. It's very overwhelming. Ay, Dios mío. Where'd it go? I think it's in my downloads. I'm gonna have to edit this out. Whatever. Come on. Is it here? Damn it. Alright, sorry y'all. Technical difficulties. Okay. Adulthood. This illustration is that same child just grown up, right? Same little girl. And by adulthood, the trauma vortex has become a stable attractor field. This is where spiritual attachments become a lived reality. The adult may experience chronic exhaustion, intrusive thoughts, emotional flashbacks, spiritual heaviness, feeling like they're not alone in their own mind, and repeating and encountering the same wounds over and over. And that, remember what I said about the missing piece of the soul? That means that the adult is living with a weakened aura, compromised boundaries, a distorted sense of self, and an open energetic doorway. And this doorway is where attachments enter, linger, and feed. And this is where most people begin to feel like something's wrong with me. I attract the worst people. I feel drained all the time. I can't break this pattern. But the truth is, it's not you. It's just the energetic architecture of what you've been through. Okay? And healing begins when the adult recognizes this pattern has an origin. This pain is not random, and this is not who I truly am. Awareness is the first collapse of the vortex. And from there, the soul piece can be called back, the attachments can be removed, the aura can be strengthened and resealed, and your spirit can be restored, and your destiny can be reclaimed. And that's basically the heart of spirit attachment theory. And it's a map of how trauma becomes energy, how energy becomes patterns, and how patterns shape your destiny until you take it back. Okay? And after doing so many readings and ritual work for a lot of clients, especially women, and also processing my own wounds, this is it. This pretty much sums it up, you know? And the thing is, a lot of mediums and just spiritually gifted people in general have a lot of childhood trauma. And we carry a lot of pain. And entities are always trying to attach to us. And that's why boundaries are so important. That's why healing is so important. And I included this in my destiny swapping course because once I realized what my vulnerabilities were, aka childhood, and also losing my dad when I was 21 unexpectedly, all that crap, and I understood it from an esoteric perspective and started working on it, game changer. Because that's the thing. Predators are banking on the fact that you don't know what's going on, especially spiritual predators. And everything that I'm telling you has come from my own inner knowing and intuition, and a lot of it my spirits taught me, my ancestors, because I carry their pain too, you know, and they want me to release it. Because unfortunately, I'm the cycle breaker. I'm the black sheep, like many of my clients are as well. And they taught me all this. And little by little, everything made sense. But these things that are listed here, this is what compounds if these vortexes and traumas are not addressed in adulthood. This is what happens spiritually. When I tell y'all, I've dealt with all 7 of these things. Is it 7 or 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 7, 8 things. I've dealt with all this. And there have been times in my life where I was dealing with all of this at once. No joke. And I'm sure some of y'all can relate. And I would argue that boundaries must come before healing. How can you heal the wound if it's wide open, if it's not protected? You know? Boundaries are so important. And releasing this pain and this trauma from your heart, mind, body, and spirit, you know, and ask the divine. Ask your spirit team to help you release it, and they will. And my course is, I'm going to make it everything that y'all need and more. Okay? For y'all to take your power back and reclaim your path and have everything that is meant for you and then some. All of your soul's desires. Because I've been through it, girl. Okay? Let me know what y'all thought in the comments about this. If you're interested in my course, go to sirensnetwork.com/destiny. All students receive a complimentary spiritual reading from me after they enroll. And afterpay is available at checkout. Early bird pricing is live, but after launch on July 16th, the price will increase. Alright? And check out the VIP option too, where you get the course and you also get 8 weeks one-on-one guidance with me. Because I don't want y'all to deal with this destiny swapping BS by yourselves. Okay? I hope this helped. More freebies and course previews are coming. And this, I love frameworks, y'all. I love structures. I love concepts. I'm just a nerd. And once I created all this and it all came together, I am so happy because it's so real. And I remember dealing with this shit as a child and not understanding. You know? Alright, I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.